Ohana, family. For us, it's not an important thing. It is everything. Kukuya maui avakea, Hawaiian saying that means a torch that blazes not only at nighttime, but it continues to blaze even in the daylight. Ever since our ancestors arrived on these shores, Hawaiians have passed on these precious, treasured values from elder, from kupuna, to child, to keiki. It's not unlike every October when our Ironman Ohana returns home to Kona. Drawn together to this ancestral place where the spirit of aloha is alive and well. For that moment when your body touches this aina, this land, there is a unity that transcends all of our differences. It's only together that we can achieve the seemingly impossible.
Every year in the second week of October, Kailua Kona on the Big Island of Hawaii transforms into a stage for the best endurance athletes in the world. Tropical bird songs and the serene sound of waves lapping on the shores of Kailua Bay are met with a new tempo. The town is preparing to play host to the 2019 Vega Ironman World Championship. "2,500 athletes, 98 pros, the rest age groupers, hailing from 75 countries, have earned their spot in this iconic race. The Ironman World Championship is a homecoming. It is a return to the founding spirit of Ironman, when everyday men and women from around the world dared to test themselves against the fierce island elements and one another. And it is an expression of profound cultural heritage that links every finisher as family.
Body marking, body marking.
Breaking the mold is inherent to this race, this family. Daring is in its DNA. Roderick Sewell, his path to Kona also began as a child. And it too involves the unwavering love and sacrifice of a strong mother.
Good morning, athletes. Welcome to your Vega Ironman World Championship 2019.
For more than 4 decades, this event has been the ultimate testing ground of body and mind. This is where legends are made and legacies are cast. Germany's Patrick Lange is looking to solidify his place in the Kona record books. The reigning 2-time Ironman world champion became the first athlete to break the 8-hour barrier here when he set a course best time record of 7:52:39 last year.
The World Championships in Kona means everything to me. That's what I live for, day in and day out. The fire is still burning to win it again.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
But Lange will have to contend with fellow countryman and 2-time Ironman world champion, Jan Frodeno, who returns to the start line after being forced to walk the marathon in 2017 and then missing last year's race due to injury.
Being here and having to watch in 2018 was that much worse again, you know, in terms of mentally having to deal with it and finding fire for this year.
Olympic champion Alistair Brownlee of Great Britain is making his much-anticipated Kona debut. For Canada, Lionel Sanders was second here in 2017 after a disappointing 2018. Indications are he will once again challenge for the win. he is joined by fellow Canadian Cody Beals, who's making his Kona debut. The reigning Subaru Ironman Mont Tremblant champion is a perfect 3 for 3 at Ironman. On the women's side, one question dominates. Can anyone dethrone Switzerland's Daniela Ryf? Since 2014, she has won 9 of the last 11 world championships, 5 Ironman 70.3 titles, and 4 here in Kona. To many, she seems simply untouchable.
I always like racing at the World Championships because everyone is there, everyone comes together, and it's where it counts. And I do believe I can, show my best when it really counts and when the pressure is on.
Great Britain's Lucy Charles Barkley has only been beaten by Ryf here in Kona. The runner-up the past 2 years, the swim course record holder, comes to this race in the shape of her life.
Daniela's a competitor. She's going to be a tough person to beat, and I still do believe I can do it, but it's going to be me on my best day and everything going to plan.
But this isn't a two-woman race. Count on Sarah Crowley of Australia, the third-place finisher in 2017, and Germany's Annie Haug, who finished third last year in her rookie Kona race to be in the mix. But they will all have to contend with a formidable field of Americans, led by Sarah True and Heather Jackson. The countdown to the start of the elite professional race is on. 53 pro men make their way into the waters of Kailua Bay. Followed closely by the 42 pro women, the day looms before each of them, the chance of a lifetime. After months of preparation, it's almost time to put it all out there. These final moments of anticipation can feel like an eternity.
Great job, stay right there. Keep the line, keep the line.
The blast of a cannon signals the start, and the 2019 Vega Ironman World Championship is underway.
Isn't that a beautiful sight, everybody? The men's professionals underway.
5 minutes later, the professional women are sent off. And then the stage belongs to the age groupers. 2,400 athletes ranging in age from 18 to 84 will tackle the same course as the professionals. A 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike, and 26.2-mile run. Out of the 93,000 people who raced an Ironman in 2019, these are the relative few to have made it to the World Championship. And that is nothing short of heroic. And yet, these are everyday people. Mothers, grandfathers, teachers, lawyers, business owners, artists, who have taken up an extraordinary challenge. Their journey of 140.6 miles is about to begin. Subaru Ironman TV coverage of the Vega Ironman World Championship is brought to you by Subaru, confidence in motion. Vega, power your story. Roka, find faster with Roka. The age groupers are still filing into Kailua Bay in anticipation of their individual wave start, while the pros are well underway. As expected, Australian Josh Amberger has surged to the front and is towing a small group of men that surprisingly includes Patrick Longa. The defending champion has upped his swim as he looks for the three-peat. There as well, the two former Olympic gold medalists, Jan Frodeno and the Kona rookie, Alistair Brownlee.
Saying I've known about this race for over 20 years and been doing triathlon at a pretty high level for most of those 2 decades, so this is always a race I was going to do at some point, 100%.
With Ann Berger setting the pace, the front pack swimmers settle into a rhythm as they navigate the swell and chop. They're hoping the strongest cyclists in the field, guys like Cameron Worth, Lionel Sanders, and Sebastian Kinley, are already beginning to lose ground. In the women's race, the swim course record holder Lucy Charles Barclay and All-American collegiate swimmer Lauren Brandon have established an early gap on the rest of the field.
It's about kind of reining it in when you're leading, because you can get super excited. Well, you know the whole world is watching you, so it's trying to keep your cool, keep your race head on and not go too crazy.
By the turnaround point, they've stretched their lead to 2 minutes over a large chase pack that includes Daniela Reef. Ann Berger is the first to hit the beach, trailed only seconds by Frodeno and the rookie Brownlee. Patrick Lange is there too, just 10 seconds back. Transition is a hurried blur of grab and go. Every second counts. They have a 5-minute lead over super cyclists Worth and Sanders. Hoffman and Kinley are in that group too. As the lead men make their way toward the famed Queen Ka'ahumanu Highway for the 112-mile ride, the women are nearing the swim finish. Charles Barclay is the first out of the water, with Brandon just seconds back. Reef and the other professional women are still out in the bay, making their way through to the pier. The defending champion Reef exits the water in a group of about a dozen women, 5 minutes back. The pursuit is on. Jan Frodeno is setting the pace at the front of the ride along the Queen K. Brownlee and American Tim O'Donnell are right there. A pack of 10 men that includes the reigning Ironman world champion Patrick Lange and his countryman Sebastian Kinley are just a few minutes behind and charging hard. Canadian Lionel Sanders is in that group as well. Cody Beals is a little further back. The Kona rookie knows this is unlike any race he has tackled. He comes here looking to learn what it takes to compete at the World Championship. As Frodeno and Charles Barclay drive the front of the pro races, the age groupers are still making their way through the swim. For many, this day is a moving meditation, a time to reflect on what drew them to this island for this singular challenge. When you're simply wired to see obstacles as opportunities, not limitations, the Ironman World Championship seems like the right kind of challenge. Just ask Roderick Sewell. He competes as an individual, but there has been a team of people supporting his Kona journey. One of those people is Roderick's mentor and friend, Rudy Garcia Tolson. The two above-the-knee amputees met as children and have been on an athletic journey together ever since. Without Rudy, Roderick would not be here. Rudy attempted this race in 2009, but didn't make it to the finish line. Roderick has come here to cross that line for them both.
When I was born, I had missing tibias in both legs. So the doctors gave my mom the opportunity of either amputating my legs or putting me in a wheelchair. At the time, I think her and my dad had just divorced, so it was all on her.
He was a good baby, a very good baby. But in the beginning, when he started learning how to crawl, I could hear him whimper when he was crawling. So that's when I decided to get him amputated.
When it came to my prosthetics, they're a little bit more expensive than what she could afford. So what they told her is if she filed for unemployment, they would get full coverage for prosthetics. A huge sacrifice, even to this day. She sacrificed her job, filed for unemployment. We ended up homeless. I got my legs, first pair, and been walking ever since. You put a kid in running blades who hasn't ran their whole life and finally has the ability to run, they're not gonna take them off.
Roderick had never seen anybody else like himself. And so, of course, the first thing we do is we bring Rudy Garcia-Tolson, who is also a double above knee amputee. They sort of grew up together.
I don't know what it was, but it was like we were like long lost brothers. He was actually the first kid that I ever met who was like me.
Roderick doesn't have knees, right? So he doesn't have quads or hamstrings. He's missing all of that. Here's a guy doing it swimming, using a kneeler, and running. So somebody has never done that.
He's been blessed by the biggest ohana I've ever seen in my life. Sometimes things are bigger than you, and you just have to let go and let it happen.
See and appreciate everything you've got, and take what you have and use whatever you have. I do the best with what God gave me, and this is all I have. This is it, me.
Gratitude, it's a powerful thing. Pair that with self-belief, and nothing will stand in the way of redefining what is possible. This is Subaru Ironman TV coverage of the 2019 Vega Ironman World Championship. If we've learned anything about this race in its 41 years, it is that anything can happen on the day. Conditions can change in an instant. It's anyone's race at any given moment. The name of the game here is adapting, because in Kona, as Sarah True is experiencing, the only thing you can plan on is things not going to plan. It is the most resilient and patient athletes who will shine brightest. We know Jan Frodeno embodies both of those qualities. He has been at or near the front the entire ride, but Brownlee, Amberger, and O'Donnell are lurking close behind. Germany's Maurice Clavel has also been a driving force, taking his turn setting the pace. A group that contains strong cyclists like Werf, Sanders, and Kinley is a few minutes back. They're sitting right where they want to be. There are benefits to being the hunter, not the hunted.
Sometimes it can be beneficial if you are not in the front and have to make decisions. The more you can do your own race, the better.
One person who is glaringly absent from the chase pack is Patrick Longa.
But at the 31-mile mark, just struggling a little bit at 1 hour.
The defending champion pulled to the side of the Queen K Highway and called it a day due to intense dizziness and fever.
He is not feeling well at all.
It's blown this race wide open. For the women, Britain's Lucy Charles Barclay is still pushing at the front, with American Lauren Brandon still in second a few minutes back, but quickly falling off the punishing lead pace. 6 minutes back, the chase pack, a group that includes Annie Haug, third in 2018, and Australian Sarah Crowley, third in 2017. 2 two words echo in their minds. Hold on.
I'm not going to sit and look at my power meter and go, oh, I've got to ride this to a certain speed. Like, because if you're not in the race, you're not in the race. So I'm happy to take risks.
Charles Barkley is also outpacing defending champion Daniela Ryf. It is unsure at this point if Ryf is just being patient or if she's still feeling the effects of a virus she fought earlier in the week. Lucy Charles Barkley is going for it. She is adding to her lead as she pursues the title at the Vega Ironman World Championship. Meanwhile, the age groupers, they are in the very early stages of their journey. Athletes like Canadian Kelly Hill, this year's Subaru Road to Kona recipient, represents the very heart and soul of Ironman. Each has overcome their own unique hurdles to get here. The road has undoubtedly been long, but they've persevered, no matter what. Surging ocean tides collide with a rugged, raw landscape on the Big Island of Hawaii. Molten lava fields, frozen in time, provide the dramatic backdrop for this grueling race. The Sea of Blackness also amplifies the elements. The ground temperature has already hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's still morning. For many, the heat and humidity here are the most formidable opponents, but the wind can crush the soul of even the most experienced. And unlike last year, when they were all but absent, this year Kona's notorious trade winds are back. That will have an impact on every athlete here, including the professionals. As the pro men take the turn toward the village of Hawi, they are the first to hit the headwinds head-on. The lead order is ever in flux. But for now, it's Frodeno, Clavel, Brownlee, O'Donnell, and Amberger.
Generally, Hawaii leaves you very few options as to when you lay down the effort. It's just when you're able to or when you're not able to. And what I find very often happening is that a lot of guys overextend themselves going up Hawi. The group still stays together, but the first few apples start to drop.
David McNamee has been one such drop. The third-place finisher here the past 2 years has called it a day. And with Longa already out, and Bart Aernot so far back in the field, it means the entire professional men's podium will be different in 2019. The climb to Hawi is always a decisive point. For Canadian Cody Beals, it will prove race-defining. A mechanical issue related to damage sustained during travel will soon cause him to withdraw. Shortly after the turnaround, O'Donnell takes off. Frodeno and fellow German Maurice Clavel are the only ones to go with him. In years past, this is where the race often separates. How will the chasers respond? In the women's race, Lucy Charles Barkley leads the way on the Queen K Highway. A strung-out pack of about 10 women is 7 minutes back. It takes everything to stay mentally focused on this lonely stretch of road skirting the Kohala coast.
Once you're on Queen K, that's where the race kind of starts, because that's where all the excitement starts to go away and you're on your own. I just always try to keep focused.
Something is wrong. Daniela Ryf is 7 minutes back and the time gap is not closing. Could it be an off day or the virus she fought coming into the race? Either way, the women's title is very much in play. As the pro men are about to make the turn back onto the Queen K, Clavel is no longer there. After changing out a flat tire in Hawi, Alistair Brownlee has caught back up. After working at the front by himself for long enough, Tim O'Donnell has words for Frodeno and Brownlee.
Help, boys!
Frodeno responds, taking his turn at the front. bike course record holder Cameron Worth leads the chase pack that includes Kienle and Sanders. About 2 minutes down, and they are moving. But so is the leading trio. With less than 40 miles to go, the pro men are starting to think about the run that awaits. This is the tightrope walk between getting into a good position for the start of the marathon and saving something in the legs.
We know what happens to guys who smash themselves on the bike. They walk the second half of the marathon. Every year it happens. So, plain as day, take part in the tactics or don't do well, your choice.
With 10 miles left in the ride, Frodeno drops the hammer. Will this commanding surge come back to haunt him on the run? Frodeno is the first to roll into transition. Tim O'Donnell is next off the bike. Jan Frodeno has a 2.5-minute lead heading out onto the marathon course. Cameron Worth is third into transition, 1.5 minutes behind O'Donnell. Just over 4 minutes down from the front, Kienle leads a group that includes Alistair Brownlee. Worth is out onto the run. Just seconds later, Brownlee, Kienle, and Sanders.
There goes Lionel Sanders from Canada.
5 minutes later, American Ben Hoffman arrives into transition. In the women's race, the chase pack that includes Annie Haug, Sarah Crowley, and German Daniela Blamel is chewing away at Lucy Charles Barkley's lead.
The push needs to be made on the back end of the bike here. It just shatters people. They've maybe overbiked. Some people maybe shouldn't be in that front group, and it just disintegrates.
Since the start cannon fired almost 6 hours ago, Lucy Charles Barkley has been alone in front. She has an 8-minute lead into transition. But she didn't come here to smash the swim and bike. She came to win her first Ironman world title. The fastest runners in the field won't be far behind. Every precious second counts. After a strong back half on the ride, Germany's Daniela Blamel is second into transition. But Sarah Crowley and Annie Haug are right on her heels. Anyone is going to catch Charles Barkley. She is in this group of women. Back in the men's race, Frodeno is in control at the front, running a 5-minute, 30-second per mile pace. The only man matching that pace is Brownlee, and he's only 3 minutes back. A month ago, Sebastian Kienle ran faster than Alistair Brownlee at the Ironman 70.3 World Championship in Nice, France. That performance sent a clear message to the Kona men's field. Canadian Lionel Sanders is learning that firsthand. Next is Cameron Worth. And soon after that, Kienle moves past Alistair Brownlee and into third. 2 targets remain: Tim O'Donnell, Jan Frodeno. The age group athletes, they may not be producing the power or speed of their professional counterparts, but the will to dig deep is just as apparent. Roderick Sewell learned to walk, then run on prosthetic legs. Now he wants to be the first double above-knee amputee to cross the finish line of the Vega Ironman World Championship. With each mile, you inspire us all. From the big island of Hawaii, this is Subaru Ironman TV coverage of the Vega Ironman World Championship. This deep into the race, every athlete must silence the self-doubt and summon the strength to keep moving forward. Every pedal stroke pushes them closer to the finish line and past perceived limitations. For Canada's Kelly Hill, this is a moment she dreamed about for years. But without any real expectations of ever achieving, life was focused more on helping her ohana. Yet it was her selfless acts of kindness that brought her here today, as this year's recipient of the Subaru Road to Kona contest.
You cannot do it, honey.
Megan, move over.
Knee highs. Knee highs. Megan, there we go. There you go.
I actually nominated Kelly because she's uncommon amongst all the uncommon. She's so uniquely special.
So you guys ready to start running? Yeah! Okay, let's run this way.
Subaru Road to Kona is our gift back to the triathlon community to provide Canadians with an opportunity to get to Kona who otherwise wouldn't qualify. We get thousands and thousands of entries each year. Kelly Hills stood out from the rest.
She's fun and she's kind and she makes you want to do more and be better. She cares about everyone around her and she wants everyone around her to succeed and be awesome.
I work as an educational assistant. I work one-on-one mostly with high needs kids.
Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Chloe is a girl with autism, nonverbal, and we seem to have this little understanding, and she's the cutest kid. She's a great kid, and she's coming in, and she's just trying to get her way in the world, and I just love being a part of that.
Are you hiding your face?
Ironman is just what keeps me going. It's just what keeps me in a good headspace, and it gives me the confidence and the mental strength to know that I can just accomplish anything.
Women around the world are looking for models for health and how to balance family and how to balance work and how to do things for yourself personally as well for that fulfillment and for excellence. Kelly should be recognized for that.
Life in the Hill household in Edmonton is hectic, to say the least. 4 teenage daughters will do that. But there is more to their story. After a nearly 12-year odyssey with diagnosis ranging from cerebral palsy to autism, the family finally learned what is causing the developmental delays that Megan, 17, and Kenneth, 16, will have to battle their entire lives.
They have an extremely rare disease that we didn't know was a part of our genetic chain. It's a progressive genetic disease called mitochondrial complex 1 deficiency. It's a disease that affects their large organs eventually, and things just start shutting down. But because we have no idea what that looks like, or have no idea if or when that's going to happen, we just live life. They're just kids who drive us crazy and who we just look after and, you know, look forward to seeing their futures.
Heads rolling down the highway. I'm going to see that.
Ohana, family. In my life, my family it's everything. My own athletes and my friends just become part of my family, and we just all function together and support each other and have fun together, and that's what families do.
The final stage of the 2019 Vega Ironman World Championship, the marathon, is a war of attrition. As the pro men hit the infamous section known as the Energy Lab, the turnaround point, and the hottest, most desolate part of the run course, everyone is suffering. The race becomes a test of who can suffer the most and slow the least. More than halfway through the marathon, Jan Frodeno is holding steady at the front. His run is going exactly to plan.
Definitely my strategy is one of trying to keep calm for the first half of the marathon, because what you think feels easy in the first half is going to feel like hell on the second.
American Tim O'Donnell is still running in second, just 3 minutes behind Frodeno. With German Sebastian Kienle right there as well, proving he has upped his run, at least so far. However, Ben Hoffman is closing in. 14th off the bike, the American is about to overtake Lionel Sanders. Sanders appeared perfectly positioned after the bike, but said he was already feeling underhydrated, and things have only become worse on the run. This is Subaru Ironman TV coverage of the 2019 Vega Ironman World Championship. The professional athletes are deep into the marathon. Jan Frodeno still commands the lead. Back in the women's race, a fast-closing Annie Haug is just 35 seconds behind Lucy Charles-Barclay as they entered the Natural Energy Lab. With a quick look over her shoulder, Charles-Barclay can see the two-time German Olympian right there. For a year, Charles-Barclay has been training towards this scenario, fending off a pass in the marathon. But instead of Daniela Ryf, her challenger is Annie Haug. Just before the turnaround point inside the Natural Energy Lab, Haug comes up on the shoulder of Charles-Barclay. After 7 hours and 30 minutes of racing, Charles-Barclay relinquishes the lead. She surges to try to stay with Haug, but the pace is too much. Now she must shift her focus on maintaining second. Sarah Crowley is coming. Her pace is 6:45 per mile. Lucy's 7:20. And not too far back are Laura Philipp and Heather Jackson. After 2 disappointing years at the World Championship, redemption appears to be in reach for Jan Frodeno. He is on to the fabled stretch of Ali'i Drive. There's no finish line like Kailua Kona in both energy and eminence. Jan Frodeno captures the 2019 Vega Ironman World Championship title in a new course record, 7:51:13. He is the first German to win 3 Ironman world titles. It has been the race that Frodeno only dreamed of. His flawless performance across the swim, bike, and run proclaims his return to the apex of the sport. After executing the race of his life, Tim O'Donnell is second across the line. He has also broken the 8-hour barrier with his 7:59:41. Despite a disappointing day for wife Mirinda Carfrae, there is still much to celebrate with his family. Sebastian Kinley has dug deeper than ever to hang on to 3rd place through the finish line. After dropping from last year's race, a podium finish announces his return. Ben Hoffman crosses the finish line in 4th. Alistair Brownlee finishes his first Ironman World Championship in 21st place. Lionel Sanders will cross the line in 22nd. A disappointing day for the Windsor, Ontario triathlete. On the women's side, the podium is still very much up for grabs. Annie Haug has stretched her lead over Charles-Barclay to 3 minutes. The win looks imminent for Haug, but a lot can happen in the final miles. With about 4 miles to go, Sarah Crowley overtakes Lucy Charles-Barclay. The battle for second is on. But this time, Charles-Barclay doesn't let the passer get away so easily. The rubber band is stretching, but it hasn't snapped. High fives to cheering fans on Ali'i Drive. In only her 4th Ironman, Annie Haug will be crowned the 2019 Ironman World Champion. the first German woman to earn the distinction. She swam and ran brilliantly, but has won the race on the run. It is a double victory for Germany. With about 2.5 miles to go, Charles Barkley reels in a fading Crowley. Re-energized by the pass, she picks up the pace in the closing stretch of the run. For the third year in a row, Lucy Charles Barkley finishes as runner-up. Sarah Crowley regroups enough to hold on to third place through the finish. It's her second podium finish here. Kona rookie Laura Phillip takes fourth in only her second Ironman. And Heather Jackson finishes in fifth, the top American. Seeing a disappointing day through to the finish, Daniela Reef crosses in 13th. The heart and fight of a champion, ever present. With a pro podium decided, the finish line now awaits the more than 2,400 athletes still out on the course. While some will soon be crowned age group world champions, others are just beginning their marathon journey. Roderick Sewell has made the bike cutoff, but he's not out of the woods yet. He'll face the same pressure on the run. His friend and mentor, Rudy Garcia Tolson, is there in transition to help him prepare, both physically and mentally, for the miles ahead. Subaru Ironman TV coverage of the Vega Ironman World Championship is brought to you by Subaru, Confidence in Motion. Hoka One One, Time to Fly. Ventum, Radical Design, Radical Results. After a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and a marathon run, the age group racers are greeted by those 4 life-changing words. Making it to this red carpet stretch on Ali'i Drive means you've overcome a day of unrelenting challenge to stake your claim in Kona history. As the sun sets over the Big Island, the athletes still out on the run course have only one opponent in mind: the race clock. Everyone must complete the course within 17 hours to be counted as an official finisher. This is when athletes must embrace the reasons that brought them here to this island for this experience. Roderick Sewell is tending to some unfinished business on behalf of his friend and mentor, Rudy Garcia Tolson, and for every challenged athlete that has ever questioned their abilities.
There's a lot of people, adults and children, who have a disability or some kind of situation where they don't know what's out there for them. This is to show them that anything truly is possible.
As the clock ticks closer to the 17th hour, Roderick Sewell will need to dig deeper than ever. A serene calm settles over the course this time of night. It's just the athlete and the darkened road stretched out before them. Kelly Hill, the Subaru Road to Kona recipient, is here not for what she has personally accomplished. It is about what others accomplish because of her. An inspirational leader among her triathlon community in Edmonton. An educational assistant for high-needs children and the mother of 2 children with a rare genetic disorder. Her gift is elevating others to greater heights.
All I can think about is making everybody proud.
They have been striving toward the finish line since just after sunrise. This test of body and mind culminates with these moments of self-truth. The layers are stripped away to reveal the most authentic version of oneself. The experience is raw and revelatory. Each stride leads the athlete both deeper within and one step closer to Ironman glory. All roads lead here. The finish line atmosphere is electric. The energy of the crowd wills every athlete towards them. Where one falters, many are there to uplift and encourage. In these moments, there are no individual goals, only collective ones. This finish line scene is one of the most profound displays of humanity in all of sport. Every person across this finish line was propelled by the support and encouragement of community, friends, and Ohana. Vega's CEO, Michael Gabriel's race, is a testament to his daughters and his team that we are capable of more than we dare to dream. Kelly Hill's finish is a testament to her family and friends who believe she deserved the chance to fulfill her Kona dream. For the past 16 hours, Roderick Sewell has been on a mission to become the first double above-knee amputee finisher of the Ironman World Championship. Today, history will be made. Walking straight into the arms of his mom, Marion, he is home. From the very first person across the finish line to the very last, each is linked as Ohana, as family. This spirit of unity burns bright and far beyond race day. It is a torch that never dims.